What's up, guys? Hope you're having a great weekend and whatnot, right? But just gonna go over some charts quickly for the next 5-10 minutes. One, I also just made a reel on this, and I have this one indicator up, which is the 8 EMA, 21 EMA, and then the 50 and the 200 EMA. So I'll just write that down here so you guys know. So I've got the 8 EMA, which is the green, and then I have the 21 EMA, which is the orange, the skinny lines, right? And then I have the 50 moving average, which is blue, and then the 200-day moving average, which is red. All right, so I have these on my list, and so we'll just go over them quickly, and background we'll keep it white. Yeah, there we go. And oh, why the text okay, here we go. So 80 EMA is green, this right here, the skinny green line, and then the 21 EMA is orange, and then the 50 is blue, and then the 200 EMA is the red. All right, and just gonna go over something here quickly that you guys might want to be something to keep an eye on, right? And here I have the SPX monthly, so you guys can see the last time we had this cross was right here. All right, this was in 2001 in Jan and Feb, and when it crossed over, you know, we were in a nice little downtrend. 8 and 21 EMAs work great on any time frame when the trend starts. All right, and then we crossed over eventually in 2003, and then obviously then we just rode the 8 and 21 EMA test, right, for a long time. And then in 2008 we broke it again. In 2008 we broke it again right here, right? Then another downtrend started, then eventually we recovered it, consolidated for a bit, and then a nice little uptrend. These averages work very well on a longer term time frame, right? Here, for example, we've you know, when the economy was recovering, we had some consolidation between all these averages, and then here again we consolidated for a while among these four averages, right? And then you can see on the longer time frame that the 21 EMA is when the 8 rides, so the 8 EMA SPX usually rides it, and then the 21 EMA is usually a test where it bounces, and sometimes when it fails, then obviously, you know, it just struggles there for a while, right? And then even in COVID, we came to the 50 EMA test on the monthly, came back, and now this time here is where we are right now. Now this chart, when somebody looks at it, it looks very easy. It is very easy to imagine that this chart's gonna go up from here. It's very easy to imagine this. Can this happen? Absolutely. You bet this can happen. But at the same time, you know, the fundamentals, I got my own bias. You might have your own bias, but I think, you know, we're gonna consolidate here for a bit, and I do believe sometime in the next 12 months that we're going to break the 50 MA and then come test this 200 moving day average, right, as this also rises. And that's where I think the market will bottom. That's my own bias, my own opinion. I could be absolutely wrong. Whether this happens or doesn't happen, I don't care, because, you know, I day trade, right? So I don't have those millions and billions of dollars to really take advantage of this. Okay, and we'll see. And then SPX on the daily, if we go over it, I've been very patient on my trades for the last 1-2 weeks. Well, why is this taking so long? Okay, here we are. Right, here we are, and we're just holding this 8 EMA right now. If I was to go over these averages, I don't really look at them on the daily, but even though they work really great, as you can see, for rejections. But one thing that I want to go over here is, let's zoom out of this chart. Let's zoom over this chart. That every time something like this took place, so I'll hide these averages here, and you know, this right here that we want to keep an eye on. Oh, where's my highlighter? Where is it? And anyways, where's the highlighter, guys? Right here. So every time we came this year, we bounced. There was usually some consolidation that took place, right? There was usually some consolidation before a new leg merged, right? There was some consolidation that took place, and here now we have the same thing. The question is, how long does this consolidation take place? Does this consolidate here, we go up, and then we consolidate here again? Do we go up or down, or up or down from here? It's very hard to tell. So me, simply, I'm just waiting here to see which way is the market going to go here. Which way is the market going to go? Because this is a very strong support and resistance area, as you guys can see, right? Very strong support. This is resistance now, obviously, right? Here it was support, here it was support, but we just broke below it. The question is, do we break new lows here, or do we continue up towards this resistance, which is 4,300? And then from here we see we want to go up or down, right? So stay open-minded. Let's see where we go. But out of this range, I think a nice little trend day is going to take place, either to the downside or the upside. I don't know which side, but something is about to happen soon. Tesla. And Tesla has gone home. And Tesla also, if we look at it, right, if we go over the monthly chart, and then we just go over these indicators, right? On the monthly chart, you guys can see that on the 50 MA, usually it bounces off the 50 MA, right? And then it goes up, and then here, the third time it broke it when it tested here in 2018, again, and then 19 it broke below, and then eventually recovered. This is the first time after such a big squeeze, and most of this move was caused by gamma squeeze, I think, guys. I hope you guys all know how that works, right? In my stock live, we cover that a lot. And now the 50 MA here is almost at 155, right? Tesla's currently trading under 180, or right at 180 for the fact. On the monthly, the question is, do we continue going lower or do we go up? And the 8 and 21 EMA is also about to cross down here. Okay, so that's something to keep an eye on. Apple, usually when it's near the 8 and 21 EMA, it just consolidates and goes up. It's a very strong company overall. But I think Apple, if it drops here and goes, I think it can test the 50 MA, right? And this time there are good chances. Something it hasn't done for a long time, since 2000, is it has not tested its monthly 200-day moving average. And you know what? Given the things going on around the world, looking at people's savings, which have gone down a lot, right? Their debt has gone up a lot. Consumer spending, I think, will decrease in the coming 1-2 years now, right? Because the money's just not there in people's pocket. That's my own bias, my own thinking. And I think that's what might, until the economy recovers, we might test this 200-day moving average in the coming months, right? I mean, this can take 1, 2, 3 years, okay? It does not have to happen right now. All right, and for the first of the 50 MA, 200 is being very aggressive. Something crazy has to happen, but I think the 50 MA test is definitely coming on Apple on the monthly, and then we'll see from where we go from here. And I think maybe in another 2-3 years, when the 200-day moving average catches up, maybe when it catches up towards the 150 and so on, right? And maybe that's when Apple will test it. Right now, I think this is too low. Obviously, Apple is worth a lot more, and so we'll see where it goes. Amazon is another chart which looks scary on the monthly. Right, look at this. All moving averages crossed below the 50 MA, and now the 200-day moving average. The question is, do we get there, right? And usually Amazon bounces off these levels, and I think the only time it was worse was in the year 2000 with the entire market. And let's see where we go from here, right? Where Amazon was cut down from almost a lot. This was, I think, 90. It was trading at 90 or 100 bucks at that time before split, and then we were trading near 5-6 bucks, right? And here, what happens here? That's the question, right? So let's see what happens in 2023. I think 2023 will be one of the hardest years to trade ever, right? That's what I think. And so let's see what happens. I'm in no rush, and we'll see where this one goes. And Google at the same time, well below its moving averages, but on the monthly, it made a nice little reversal candle, right? It's a very nice reversal candle. The question is, does this stand true to itself? Maybe we bounce for 1-2 months and then come back again. But for now, on the monthly, and plus this month is yet to close. But for now, the candle is being made, right? Now let's move over to DXY, the measurements. I won't go the monthly on this. Oh, the monthly on the 80 MA bounce, by the way, right? Let's go over the weekly on this, right? The weekly had a nice little reversal candle just above the 50 MA, and we broke below it, right? We were in a nice little uptrend since June. Can we recover this? Do we consolidate here and go higher? Do we consolidate here and go higher on the DA dollar? Does it break out highs again? Or does it consolidate here and then eventually loses its value a little bit, right? It gets weaker against the other currencies. If it comes down, we all know that's positive for the market. If it goes up, we all know that that's negative for the markets. All right, so that's one. And the 10-year rates have also taken a nice little dip, but this dip was the rates kept rising for the last 1-2 years. The question is, do we hold around these levels or do we dip below further? And I think I mentioned the last time that when we were approaching this level right here, as you can see, this was a very strong resistance. I don't think support and resistance can be really discussed on rates because they move different, but still, technically, if we were to look at it, 3.8 right here, you guys can see this level is a tough level, right? So I think if we consolidate here for some time, do we break out higher? Right? Do we break out higher? If this breaks out higher, that's obviously negative for the markets. All right, and that was pretty much it. I'm just going over some charts, just doing my little pre-market analysis, studying before tomorrow morning, just catching up with all these things, how they closed on Friday and what happened. And I'm in no rush. And Bitcoin also, guys, is taking a dump right now. This is a very nasty bear flag breakdown, right? And the question is, does this candle break down, we come lower, or do they recover this above this, right? Well, again, my number was 19K. If we kept holding here the longer and when it broke, it would be a tough break. And here we are down 3,000. The question is, from here, where do we go? Unfortunately, I cannot trade Bitcoin. There's no Binance. But if we break below here, I think $11,000 is next on Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin breaks down here, remember it led the market, right? A few months back, Bitcoin was leading down first before the market took a dump, right?